Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm taking you to the new shiny thing in Abu Dhabi, teamLab phenomena. If you've looked up any UAE related social media recently, you probably either saw somebody else visit this place or you were shown an ad for it. Anyway, I'll tell you all about it while you watch the footage from inside, including my opinion on if it's worth going, how to plan your visit, pricing, and the rest of the good stuff. First things first, I paid 150 dirham. It was the last slot at 4 p.m. on a Saturday, and by that time it was already sold out. As you will quickly see, it's a limited space inside, so that's why you have to book a slot. Although your time inside isn't limited, you should arrive within the half hour specified on your ticket. Going in, I saw a few folks who I guess missed their slot. Parking is limited. There's valet as well as a bigger parking lot right across the street. All right, enough about the practicalities. What is teamLab? It's a Japanese art collective containing immersive digital art installations. As soon as you go in, there's a first piece, which is essentially just a body of water with a bit of light play, and they ask you to touch it to kind of encourage you to interact with the art. That's the theme throughout this place. Most of the stuff can be touched. You can sit, lay down, move around, and there's also dry and wet areas. In the wet areas, they'll ask you to remove your shoes, and there's lockers provided for that. What you just heard there was a balloon popping and everyone's reaction to it as well. Now, a little background info on this specific room. Before you go in, there's a briefing. A staff member standing at the entrance, first of all, controls how many people go in at a time and also tells each group how to walk and where not to walk. And they do tell you to try and not pop the balloons. Obviously, you can see that it's quite crowded in here, and all the movement, the darkness makes it quite difficult to move around. So my best advice is to just keep calm, move slowly, and try to enjoy the experience, which was at times challenging with all the crowds and kids running around. Anyway, next up is the wet area. You are warned about this at the entrance, by the way, that in certain parts you will be asked to remove shoes or both shoes and socks. There will be a video later showing the lockers as well, but what's important to know is that not all wet areas are the same. Some are knee deep and some, I would say, ankle deep. I had to pull up my abaya and tie it into a knot, and while I did get my clothes wet a bit, it was okay. It dried up pretty quickly. The floor below the water felt rubbery, so slipping was not a concern. The thing that I did worry about were the dark corridors. Combined with kids running around, I did have to use a flashlight just to feel somewhat more comfortable moving around. One room that belonged to the wet area dries up and then fills up with water again afterwards. So if you come into it not seeing any water around or the floor is slightly wet, just know the water will come up at a certain point. That's this room with flowers blooming on the ground, essentially, is what you see. But then in between those, water comes out from these holes. They look like holes, but I guess I don't know, they just appear that way. Anyway, there was this other special area containing something called massless amorphous sculpture, which essentially it just looked like a room full of clouds. And although it looked very, very cool, and I did have intrusive thoughts of walking in there, and you could, but you had to wear a special suit. It looked like a raincoat as well as goggles. They gave you goggles and something that resembled a shower cap for your head. However, there was a long line to get in there, so we decided to skip it. Here you can see those lockers I mentioned earlier. There are restrooms nearby as well, and this is a little workshop where you can draw or paint something that they can then print on badges, posters, t-shirts, and tote bags. The rest of the rooms are now dry ones. Again, we skipped those initially due to long queues. The good thing about each one is that there's someone at the entrance explaining what you're about to experience and also provides warnings if needed, such as don't touch the black bowl or secure any loose items, etc. I think there's a minute or so left of more rooms, me running around or fighting balloons, so I'm gonna leave you to enjoy that. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.